My name's Dominic Bryan and I'm a social anthropologist. I've lived and worked in Belfast for many, many years. I have a particular interest in the notion of community. It gets used all the time. Politicians talk about my community, the nationalist community or the unionist community. The media talk about the two communities. And it's a good thing. We all want to be in communities, right? Now, I wonder if there are elements about being in communities which might be a bad thing. I'm here at Gallagher College to talk to some sixth form students about what they understand about the notion of community, and we can think about whether there are alternative ways of understanding the groups in which we live.
Do you need the attacking point?
No. Okay. Hi everyone, how you all doing?
Hiya.
Great. Right.
I'm Richard.
I'm Amy.
I'm John.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Rory.
I'm Amy.
I'm Ashton.
All right, well, when people talk about this place and who people are, the word that gets most often used by politicians and people generally and on the media is the word community. We all apparently want to be in a community. So my first question for you is, when you hear the word community, what do you think it is? You know, is community a good thing to be in? And if it is, why is it a good thing?
It is a good thing because it gives you a sense of belonging. And like when you talk about a community, it's like togetherness. So just everyone, you usually would think people get on or get along in a community.
They have similar interests, so it helps them get along with each other now.
It gives people a sense of identity and they can relate to each other in the community.
Because they fit in. So you're all kind of like each other in a way. And everyone in a community feels like they can like connect with each other in some way or another.
What is that connection, do you think?
They can all like relate to each other. Even though like everyone in the community is different, they all have something. Whether it's been from like the same place or like having like a similar religion or something, they all have something that kind of brings them together.
Yes, like your friends, family giving you like a lift home after a night out or something like that. Such kind of people coming together and helping each other out.
One sociologist pointed out that society sounds a very cold thing. You're in a society. That doesn't give you much. Community makes you feel that you're in a nice, safe place. And that is why I'm so interested, because that's why people always tell you that you're in a community. When you hear the word used in Northern Ireland, it's often attached to particular sorts of groups. When you hear community, what groups does it refer to in Northern Ireland?
Usually religion. When you're talking about community, you usually think of like a Catholic community or a Protestant community. Like that would usually come up if you were thinking about it.
It's like two separate communities. Whenever people are talking about communities like here, you wouldn't like link them together, because if you were talking about like Catholic and Protestant, they're like two completely separate communities.
I mean, usually both communities are in conflict with each other. You never actually hear the two communities really ever get along. It's usually just, someone else is throwing petrol bombs at the other, or they're rioting.
Like, what community you belong to, and like people out of one community don't really want to associate with other people in case like there is conflict or anything.
So you've named a couple of communities there. You talked about the Protestant Catholic community. We could probably also talk about, some people say, the nationalist and unionist community, right? So we're sort of meaning the same sort of thing. Are there any other sorts of communities that you feel you're in?
Well, there's people over here from different countries as well. So it'd be like the Roma people or the Polish community as well. It's quite big over here. So sort of
Chinese community. Yeah, there's Chinese community.
More than just the Protestant and the Catholics. There's maybe half a dozen or more communities.
Well, what's interesting about this use of community is that it's used to describe so many different sorts of social groups. So we talk about the gay and lesbian and transsexual community. We might talk about the rural community or an urban community. We might talk about a local community. We talk about community leaders. The reason we're having this discussion is I think there's a problem with the way we use this word community, because I think there are sorts of social groups, there are local social groups which bond together and really help you. all right? And I think a school could be a strong network of people, or a neighbourhood could be a network of people. The interesting thing is, I don't think the Catholic community or the Protestant community are a network like that at all. I think they are political creations that politicians use to give you the sense that you're bonded together. It gives you the sense that you feel like you might do in a school or a neighbourhood, whereas in actual fact, they're not that sort of social group at all. You don't know hardly anybody in that group. All you do is share with them a particular thing. You share with them an identity. What these groups are not communities, they are identity groups.
You can't trust people you don't know, because like say like from the Catholic or Protestant community, it's such like a wide variety of people, so how do you know if you can trust them if you don't even know half of them?
There's usually a lot of conflict in a specific community, say the Unionists, those specifically who are protesting against the flag. Many of, say, other Unionists would not agree with their views, and so that would be conflict within a specific community as well.
You know, I'm a Hull City supporter and a Hibs supporter, so that's part of my identity. So technically anything that you attribute to yourself could be considered an identity, and that doesn't necessarily mean in a community that's one community identity.
I wonder whether what we need to do is think about the type of groups that we're part of and get a bit more sophisticated in the way we talk about them. And it would be interesting every time a politician uses the word community to have a buzzer that goes off and says, hang on a minute, what group do you mean? And is that not just an identity? Is that really a community is that really a group of cohesive people that trust each other? Or is that just an identity group? Because I think we're confusing two sorts of social groups, and that the reason that they use the word community all the time is precisely because it wants everybody to feel good about it. I think we need a more complex way of thinking about the social group, more cosmopolitan way, that we understand that we're all part of a range of different social groups that provide us with a whole set of networks, but that we don't get boxed in to these particular communities. Thank you very much for giving up of your time this afternoon, and the best of luck in your studies in the next few months.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really are grateful for that. We'd better get this classroom back in the state we found it.